Racing Home with Wendy Venturini, presented by Coca-Cola. From our Coca-Cola racing family to yours, enjoy the race with an ice-cold Coke, the official soft drink of NASCAR. Follow us on Twitter at Coca-Cola Racing.
This week's edition of Racing Home is brought to you in part by Exergen and their all-new Smart Glow Temporal Scanner Thermometer. I use it, and so should you. For more information, visit Exergen.com. And today, I'm racing home with two people on this podcast. Today, I'm with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Danica Patrick. I thought it was only fitting to have both of them on at the same time. And the podcast Racing Home, it's lifestyle. So therefore, I'm going to try not to talk about racing, talk about life off the track. Let's start with Ricky. So Ricky, what is the most difficult part about your significant other being your competition on the racetrack?
Well, I think the thing that's difficult for us, and probably speaking for her too, is you look and you want her to have a good day because you also want her in a good mood when she gets back home. And so we both need to have good days at the same time. I think that would be really good.
So who is a worse sport at that than at the end of a bad day, Danica?
Oh, no, don't put the microphone in front of me now. I think me. I'm probably worse about it. Would you agree?
I wasn't putting you on the spot. I was just asking.
Oh, I think it's probably me. I'm being honest. Do you think, babe?
Yes, it's definitely her. I got to calm her down sometimes.
You didn't answer, like, what? So what's the most difficult? You didn't. I have to answer this question all the flipping time. What about racing together and what the hardest part is? You just said you want to have a good day. Like, I want you to have a good day, but is there something difficult? Like...
We're not trying to break out an argument here.
There's nothing difficult. There's nothing difficult. No.
I thought that we were missing a but. There was a but, I thought, in there, but no. Oh, no.
Never heard of but.
But anyway, okay.
All right, so there's so many things I want to talk about. I know one of your favorite passions, Danica, is cooking. Is it sewing, too? I do sew. You do sew. You still have your sewing machine set up. So are those the kind of things you have to do to get your mind off the racetrack?
There's not many things that can get my mind off of eating, like shopping and sewing can. I remember one time I made a shirt one day, and I think I might have stopped one time. I don't even like to go to the bathroom when I'm doing it. I just like keep going, you know. I get very, very focused on it. Shopping and sewing must have to do with clothes or something like that. But I do cook a lot. Yeah, I made some something recent. My meatloaf with bacon on the top. That was delicious. I made.
He's shaking his head. Yes.
And he eats anything I make, and he doesn't even think anything's bad. I'll be like, oh man, this sucks. I'll say this is terrible. Add some salt. It needs salt. And he'll be like, oh, it's good. Like, he never dislikes anything I make, pretty much. Have you disliked? The only thing you didn't like was beets, right?
Yeah, beets are the only thing I didn't like, but you don't really cook those.
Yeah, that wasn't her fault.
Yeah, it's not your fault. That is what it is.
Do you cook, Ricky?
I have. Before.
Based on her look on her face, I'm going to say no.
Well, when you have somebody that cooks like her, there's no need for me to cook. She's so good. I would not. She would not want to eat what I eat.
I have a cooking story of Ricky's. So, I think it was Michigan, and maybe the first time we went there, and he was already there for something he had to do for some appearances he had to do, and I came in afterwards with the team. So I'm on my way in. The traffic was terrible. It took forever. We were all the way in like the airport near Detroit, and I said, "Babe, I'm starving," which is already really dangerous because I get mean when I get.
You're hangry.
Yes, very hangry, and I said, "You're gonna have to get dinner ready," and he said. No, I don't really feel like it. And I went, you don't feel like it? I said, well, and then he said, I don't cook dinner. And I said, well, make breakfast. Or no, I don't cook dinner. I said, well, make lunch, because he's made tacos before. And so I was trying to be kind of a smart aleck remark, okay, well, don't make dinner then. If it's not your thing, make lunch. And so he did. He never texted me back and said he was doing anything. So I figured, oh, sure, he's just sitting on the couch or watching golf or something like that. And I got back to the bus, and he made tacos, and he even made hard shells from a soft corn tortilla in a pan with oil. And I was like, I don't even know how to do that.
So have you picked up your cooking skills then since Danica's been around?
That was about the last time.
That's about it. I saw somebody do that one day, so I figured I would try it, and it turned out pretty good.
What's your favorite dish that she makes?
Man, there's a lot. She makes all kinds of fish really good. She makes, we eat a lot of the same stuff, just in a lot of different, variations of stuff, preparations. We eat a lot of kale, a lot of quinoa, which I never knew what it was until she started cooking. So, but she did make me on my birthday some fried chicken, collard greens, and cornbread, which was delicious.
It sounds delicious. Do you bake too, or do you just cook? Are you more of a chef?
Not a baker. Not a baker, but I don't have anything to bake with. Like, I was gonna make pumpkin pie the other night. I was making dinner for everybody and like us and our friends, Aaron and Kelly and their kids, and I wanted to make pumpkin pie. I was in the spirit, and I was even gonna go so far as to make it from scratch from the pumpkin, but I didn't have time for that. So anybody got time for that? So I moved ahead with a pre-made organic something or another, and I didn't have a pan for it. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't make this. But what I did have is some like ramekins, some smaller like ceramic ramekins, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'll just make individuals. So I did. I made the crust, packed it in there, like used my hands for the whole thing, made pumpkin pie.
That's pretty impressive.
She is really good at making a really good dinner out of nothing. Like, she looks through the fridge and looks in the pantry and is like, I think I can come up with something. And then she'll just start throwing things together. I think she learned that on Chopped.
That's a sign of a good chef.
It's called bus life. There's not a lot of options, you know. You just got to make do with what you've got. And, you know, you got to make those peppers and onions look different somehow, or else you just get really bored. But it's from watching so much Chopped and cooking shows for sure. And you know, we were saying there's not many ingredients, but the reason why is because when you try and eat healthy, there's really not a lot of ingredients. You know, like how many ways can you make vegetables? You know, there's only so many.
Well, I know cooking isn't the only thing. You guys do a lot outside of racing. What are some of the things you two like to do?
Ask him about what he does with his tractor.
Okay, I'm going to ask you what you do with your tractor. I've been to a tractor pull. I went this year. It was pretty cool. In Ohio, that was a big one.
I don't do any tractor pulls, but I do pull a brush hog behind it, and I spend a lot of time in the tractor. Birthday, I was on the tractor all day. She came out there, I don't know, probably 10 o'clock in the morning. She's like, hey, is there anything I can do for you? It's your birthday. I'll do whatever. It's like, I don't really need anything. You know, just get me something to drink. She brought me something to drink. And then after that, she's like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go to the gym. And she went so she did some running around and went to the gym. And she came back. It was 3 o'clock, and still hadn't been inside yet.
What do you do on a tractor?
Our poor dog, thankfully, didn't eat any couches or chairs or anything like that because she was loose in the house from 10 to 3.
That sounds entertaining. It's like leaving a toddler loose.
I feel like we're going to find a pile of poop somewhere that's petrified because she put it there.
So did you ever find out what he was doing on the tractor all day long?
Oh, he was plowing the fields, baby. He was cutting them down. There's a lot of acreage at the property, and the fields they were very overgrown, and so he cut the fields down. But the other day, tell him what you were making.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have to do anything because you guys are just offering questions back and forth.
So it's been really busy weeks testing and stuff. And so yesterday or Thursday, got home from Homestead Test, and my new box blade had come in for my tractor. So I started building a motocross track on the property. So I've got a little bit going. I Instagrammed a couple pictures of it, but I got a lot more work to do on it. So I got a lot more hours to spend on the tractor.
So what will be taking place on a motocross track? Like, are you going to have friends over and this is what you're going to do in your spare time?
Do I need to have paramedics on hand?
That's the question, right?
Jack's listening. No paramedics. It's going to be safe.
Is this something that you guys will pick up during the off season? Take some time, have some fun in the yard?
Yeah, we like to ride four-wheelers around. We got some trails through the woods, and I want to build a go-kart track and stuff that I've always wanted to do growing up, and like have a go-kart track in your backyard and stuff like that. So that's the things that I like to hopefully get accomplished this off season.
I know where I'm sending my 3-year-old this winter.
It's the Playland.
It sounds like it. So are you guys as competitive off the track? You just mentioned four-wheelers, Danica. Does it get competitive for you too?
Yeah, we're competitive about everything. Yeah. We are. I don't know if there's anything we're not. I mean, I know my golf game's way off, but I will get there. I will beat you someday.
Well, I know she just won a bet from a golf outing because I was out there and I heard about how well she golfed, and she's in her driver's suit as we do this podcast, both of them in their driver's suit. But she has some money in that driver's suit that was just handed to her from a bet. That's pretty cool.
That's right. I'm gonna try not to spend it all in one place. But I played good enough golf that I assisted our team to help win some pairings and allow us to win overall. There was teams, and it was this whole big Ryder Cup thing. Anyway,
it was fun. You're looking at it. You really didn't think she had money in that driver's suit, did you?
Oh, I got the same amount because we were on a team, but she did contribute a lot to the team, so it was really fun. But yes, we're really competitive. It's tough for us to sometimes work together on hanging things. I think because we're both competitive, we both want to do it like the way we think we should do it. So she doesn't want to, cut grass, so I got that covered, and I don't want to cook, so she's got that covered. And then, as far as, when we work out and we do workouts and we go golf and really just everything, we're really competitive.
Well, I read the Players Tribune article you did this past month, Danica. I loved it. I really loved it. And I know, Ricky, you probably got a chance to read it as well. But what was that? For fans that didn't, you edited it. I mean, that had to be hard to go over it again and again in your brain, or is it one of those things you just wrote and you were done?
They have writers on staff, so they write, and then I've edited heavily. And I didn't even let him read the first version because it was aggressive, and it made me seem like I didn't like Ricky. So I definitely took the helm at that one and made it the truth. And like he said at the beginning, we both are competitive, and we want each other to do well, but that's hard when they're next to you, right? I mean, that's hard when you're driving next to each other and you're like, I want you to do well, but wait, my job is to beat you, and my job is to beat everyone out here. And it's a tough situation to be so competitive at times.
I think it's that awkward moment that you talked about in an airplane when one has a bad day and one has a good day.
I will say that it's almost like we get past our days quicker because we don't really celebrate or go sad. We don't really talk a ton about it. We talk about it for sure because that's just human nature. But it's not like celebratory, I wouldn't say. There's not a lot of celebrating about our days. Would you agree, babe? I mean, I don't think we don't really celebrate.
Well, we haven't had a lot to celebrate yet. No. So, we're getting there.
There's more to celebrate than just wins. I mean, best finishes, and when you finish second at Bristol, and those are good, honey.
Yeah, I went to IHOP. She was really hungry. I wanted to drive straight home, but we stopped and we got IHOP.
These are the entertaining stories you're only going to hear on Racing Home. Okay, let's go. I'm looking at the dog bed for Dallas. Dallas is not in here right now.
Part of the life.
She's a huge part. You guys like to send photos out there to the race fans, so the race fans get to see a part of that. It's kind of like being a parent. It really is.
Yeah. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't have a dog. I have a 3-year-old.
I know about the offspring, but I didn't know if you had a dog before. But I
have before.
I like to imagine that the dog is a lot like a kid until I say that out loud to someone who has a kid, and then they're like, they're probably looking at me going, not a child though. I mean, I get it. You can't put your kid in a cage, and I can put Dallas in the cage for a few hours. That's fine. But everything else beyond that, it is on some level like we have a toddler that will never be able to make its own breakfast, ever. she'll be 15 someday, hopefully, and I'll still be making her food for her, you know? So I think that it takes constant attention, and I always have this fear. I'm just trying to keep her alive. But I feel like that's like a parent, right? You're just trying to keep them alive, and that's how I feel. When I let her out that door and don't know where she goes, I feel like she might die.
You're leaning in. You're leaning in.
I'm 27, and I still don't make my breakfast. And I go outside, and I don't come back for a while.
You are like a dog.
Dallas and I are really similar.
That's why I scratch both of your heads and your backs, because you like it, just like Dallas likes it, you like it, don't you?
Yeah.
I think dogs can be more difficult than kids. I've had a dog, but you're right. Sometimes, I mean, and children will sometimes listen. Where I don't know. I feel your pain. Let's talk about. I was just shown a first version of a stuffed Dallas. You guys are going to be selling a stuffed animal for charity.
As long as Dallas signs the paperwork and signs off on it, signs on the dotted line, we're gonna. Oh wait, she can't write. Never mind, she won't. We'll just do it.
Just put ink on her paw.
We'll just put ink on her paw. That's a good idea. That's cute. So yeah, we're gonna sell Dallas and little mini stuffed animal Dallases and give the money to. We haven't decided yet, but to animal charities. So it's not to make money. It's just because it's be kind of fun and funny. And Dallas is immortalized, and she's cute as heck.
Okay, so tell me, Ricky, there's a lot of things, like my husband and I go back and forth, you know, on different areas of who's better at what. So what is Danica best at a household chore versus you better than?
At a household chore?
Yeah.
Is cooking a chore?
No.
This is her zone.
All right, who does the laundry?
She does hers and I do mine.
Wait a minute. I do laundry and you just do yours. I'm like, babe, why didn't you? Last night you did, though. You were kind. You asked me if I had anything to wash. And then, of course, I followed that up with, are you going to put lights and darks together? And you go, of course.
You don't put lights and darks together.
Yes, he puts whites and blacks together.
That's not.
Good.
Well, it's because I spend most of the time on the tractor. I got to get stuff done as quickly as possible when I get into the house. And so I got to get laundry done. And I didn't want to stay up all night and wait for 2 loads to get done. I just get one done and call it good. So that's
why
what I do.
his white underwear are sort of a bluish, grayish color.
We are learning so much about you, Ricky.
What's it matter? What's it matter?
Well, it matters now because everyone knows.
So do you do dishes, Ricky? If she does all the cooking.
I do dishes, which doesn't bother me at all. I don't like the cooking part because it takes so long to cook, and then you're done eating in 5 or 10 minutes. And 10 minutes, what are you laughing at? So you're done eating, and then I feel like I can just clean the dishes up pretty quick.
Yeah, my husband's fast at cleaning the dishes. I take a long time to make that mess.
I feel bad that he's doing he doesn't have to do it. It's not an expectation level. It's helpful, but I'm out. I will dry and put away so that we can sit down at the couch. We can sit down at the same time.
All right. So when you guys go out to eat, who's a better driver, or who drives?
Oh, good question. I don't know. What do you think, babe?
100%, I'm a better driver on the road.
Speak up, Grandpa. I can't hear you over there.
Yeah, I just kind of cruise. I turn on Willie's Roadhouse and just kind of cruise along. She turns on some hip hop music and likes to drive and get there quicker than I would.
So, did either of you answer the question? Who drives when you go somewhere?
We drive our own cars, but I will say,
like Days of Thunder.
I don't mind riding with him around a lot because, number one, he can't complain about my driving. But maybe, move that to number 2. Number 1 is I can't get a ticket. That's the biggest reason for me. I don't want a ticket, and I can't help myself. I drive too fast. So I would say that just by the nature of the situation.
If you have a dog in the car, you need to go slow.
Did you drive slow before your dog?
I would say, yeah.
She's shaking, yes.
Well, tractors don't go fast either, so that's why I'm just kind of cruising along. I leave on time, so I can go the speed limit.
Now we get to the bottom of this.
True, I do feel like I can make up a few minutes.
Okay, so I just told my husband this week, I'll share a quick story. This is about you guys, but I always use my GPS to tell me when I'm going to get there, so I know how much time I can make up.
I mean, you can always make up a little bit more in the GPS too. I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm one of those people that, anything beyond like 15, 20 minutes is definitely late. But if somebody's within 5 to 10 late, like that's just, I get it. That's leaving at the amount of time it's supposed to take to get there, but you caught a couple extra red lights, maybe some slow cars on the road, and all of a sudden you're 7 minutes late.
You're supposed to leave 10 or 15 earlier than what you're wanting to leave.
Is she always late? Off the track. I know you have to keep a schedule at a racetrack. It's impossible, but at home.
Yes.
How much?
We generally leave, I would say on average, 10 minutes after we're supposed to, at least.
She's holding up 5 fingers.
Like 5. No. Like 5 minutes late, maybe. A few minutes late. 5 minutes late. We left this morning 1 minute early, I thought. We were going to leave the house at 8, and then I said we should probably leave a little bit before that. And so I pointed at the clock as we were pulling out, and it was 7:49. And we were going to leave at 8, and I said leave a little early, so I was thinking 7:50. We left at 7:49.
So I was thinking 7:45.
We keep these secrets to ourselves. That's the goal as a woman. The other half is surprised.
But anyway,
maybe in my mind I thought we were actually like 11 minutes early because I thought a little bit before 8, but 8's okay.
Yeah, so she, but to the driving point, I would say I drive mostly in North Carolina, and then she drives, like, and while we're around the track, I generally drive, but, like, when we go to Chicago, I'm not very familiar with Chicago, and those cab drivers are crazy.
I'm from Chicago.
She gets around the city better than probably anybody there, so she drives.
It's innate. Once you're a city girl, always a city girl. You know how to navigate traffic.
It's true. It's true. I mean, now traffic jams aren't like gridlock on I-90 getting into the city. Right. It's a tractor blocking the road for me, and I'm just like, what is going on? But it reminds me to slow down. It's okay to slow down, but that is a fleeting thought. Right after I pass that car, I'm like, it's on. I got to make up the time.
I thought he was rubbing off on you by taking your time chilling out. But then, clearly got to get around it. All right, we're getting closer to the off season. Any big plans for the holidays? You guys go away, or because we're gone so much on the road, do you like to just chill and lock yourselves inside?
I can stay at home all the time. Get up in the mornings, have some breakfast, and, there's a lot of things that need to be done and a lot of things that need to be cleaned up at the house and on the property, and that's what I would like to do all winter.
What about you, Danica?
I enjoy that, too. You understand, Wendy. It's nice to not pack a bag. Yeah. Like, it gets exhausting to just packing a bag. Like this bag, the bag we packed for this trip is all the way through Homestead because we're staying at my house in Phoenix before and after the Phoenix race. So it's like, the packing just gets exhausting. But, I propose every now and again to like take a little trip somewhere. Like, let's go for a couple days to the beach or to Charleston or the Biltmore, whatever, Blackberry Farms in Tennessee. I'm like, let's go to all these places for a couple of days. And he's like, no. Why? Why do I need to go anywhere? Everything's at home. We have this big house, and we need to be in it. And I got stuff to do at the house. And so, he likes all these other places, but he doesn't want to ever take 2 or 3 days to go do them. So, but what we're really going to do is we're going to travel to our family's houses for the holidays. That's what we just do. We're going to Tennessee. We're going to Memphis to go to the Ole Miss game and to go to his parents for Thanksgiving. Oh, sorry, Mississippi. Memphis is actually closer than saying Mississippi, I feel like, though, because it's in Tennessee. Okay. Vicinity. So we're going to Mississippi for Thanksgiving and to the Egg Bowl to go see Ole Miss play, Mississippi State. I think I even say Mississippi right now, don't I?
Did she say it wrong for a while?
Her language is coming around.
I'm sure I used to say Mississippi. Now I say Mississippi.
We cut some syllables out here and there.
Because you're so smart, you don't even need them. You know what each other's saying.
That's right.
And then for the holidays, we'll go to both our parents' house. So honestly, the off season goes by fast because we spend it on the road and at our parents'. But I love it. I mean, I would rather do that than sit by ourselves at home.
I agree 100%. my mom came to Texas, and she said she loves my hair. She said it's looking really good.
Did you want to grow it out, or did Danica ask you to grow it out?
Oh my gosh.
That's a great question.
Great question. So it was the summer. This mullet's been going since the summer. And it was just before we went to go to Tahoe, Lake Tahoe for the golf tournament and to the ESPYs. And he had a haircut, and we met at the gym afterwards. And, he had his hat on, whatever. I didn't even think about it. I forgot that he had a haircut. He took his hat off, and all he still had was his back wing off. All he did was have a fin off the back. And everything else was high and tight except for the back. And I went...
She was mad.
So mad. And I literally, he doesn't like me to swear, but I had to make a point. And I said, you look like beep. I had to, because it really looked like that. And I'm coming around to, I'm hoping reverse psychology will get you to cut it, but I don't know. That probably won't happen.
Too good, is it?
But at least let me help you with this masterpiece that you're trying to create by telling you that you need to keep it all long, and you're doing a better job at that. Good job. Good job. That's what your mom's liking.
So when I met my husband before we started dating, he was high and tight, and I was like, honey, you got to fix that. Yeah, so I'm 8 years later. It's a work in progress.
Nice. I just want to keep it growing. I just want it to keep growing so that, you don't ever want it to get thin, and, you want to keep as much hair as you can.
Are you worried about going bald?
Well, I'm not worried about it right now, but...
Are you getting drag strips on the top there, on the sides? I think it looks all right.
So far, so good, but, you just want to keep it all. Keep it all.
All right, this is now getting us way off topic. No, well, I've had fun, you guys, and thanks for having me over this weekend. But I know I'm not going to be able to get away without fans are going to write me and ask me this question if I don't throw it out there. Do you guys foresee a longer future between the two of you?
Don't ask me that question.
What do you ask me for?
Well, let me put it in simple layman's terms. The same thing I asked Dale Jr., and I straight out asked him, and he answered it. So any plans for the future beyond dating?
Well, that's why you date. And so I would say I wouldn't date somebody if I didn't think that there could be a future further and longer and forever. So, yes.
Well, I'm not the only one you've dated, so what are you trying to tell me? At this point in time, I'm no different than the others so far.
We're not going to start an argument.
Although, I don't know. Did they feed you as well? And
none.
And did you live with them? I mean, we do live together. We have a dog. We have a family.
You're a family now.
That's way further.
And she's helping you with your mullet.
And
that's love.
And she got me to go to the dentist. So that's
you didn't go to the dentist before you dated?
No, I went to the dentist, but my mom had been on me forever. And so when Danica and I started dating, I don't know if she heard my mom say that or something about me going to the dentist, but that was her goal, is to get me to go to the dentist. And it had been about 5 years, and I ate a lot of candy. So I was kind of worried about going to the dentist. But luckily, I didn't have any cavities.
Well, that's good.
Of course. Wouldn't it go like that? Of course.
Now
it's going to take like 7 years to get him back again.
And to prove it, you wanted him to have some cavities to prove your point, kind of.
I mean, 1 or 2 would have been like, if you would have taken, you know what I mean? 1 or 2 would have been good, but you know what, babe, you're just too perfect. You couldn't help it. You couldn't help it.
She's laying it on now.
Yeah. Okay, before we wrap this all up, what do you think is the big?
So is it looking good? Am I going to be more than some girlfriend someday? I don't know. Was that?
I said it was looking good.
Okay, I was happy with the answer, but Danica was not.
Yeah, see, she was happy with the answer.
Well, as he knows, I don't hear everything said, nor do I remember. So, I need layman's terms for me. I need it to be very clear and blunt.
Sometimes I think I probably could have asked you to marry me, and you probably would forget. Her memory is not very good.
Oh, touche, right?
I'd like to think I wouldn't forget that, but there are a lot of things I forget. Senior moment. My mom calls them senior moments.
Yes. Should I continue on with Ricky, or do you like that answer?
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, as we wrap it up, kind of put a bow tie on this lovely conversation we've had. What is the one thing that you think fans misconceive about your relationship here in NASCAR? A misconception about that you would ever want to clear the air and just shout from the rooftops how they're wrong?
I would say from what, and this is going off of, obviously you're basically asking off of Twitter, what are people saying that I see? A lot of people say that since we've been dating, I haven't won or haven't ran as well. So I get that. I see that a lot on Twitter. But I don't think that's true. And so we are working on our cars and to make them better so that those people can quit saying that.
You know, they tell Jimmy Johnson it's probably because he had kids why he can't win a championship. So if you're not married, then So if you were married, it's because of kids. And if you're not married,
you can't please them all, and they all have it figured out.
I don't know, because I'm a pretty open book. I don't know if there's any misconceptions, because if anyone has a question, I would just answer it. But maybe, I don't know, if people maybe think I'm not sweet or girly or anything like that, but I am Susie Homemaker at home. Susie, my middle name is Sue, and I am that I am Susie Homemaker at home. I cook. I don't clean because I have a cleaning lady, because I'm lucky enough to have one, and I don't want to clean with the 2 days. But I'm like all girl at home. I'm really like, I don't want to get. I'm not even jumping out on the four-wheelers and dirt bikes and I'm like, whatever. I'll just be inside like making granola.
Yeah, she's 100% girl when she's at home.
I'm a lot softer maybe than. Am I a lot softer than people might think?
I would say you're a lot nicer and a lot softer than people think.
Was that a misconception you had before you really met her?
No.
That's good.
I actually had met him a long, long time before, actually, at Phoenix in Tony's bus, right? Yeah. It was something like, so he drove for Tony in 2007. He said we had met, but of course, I forgot.
You know how it goes.
You got to see me like in a more closed off area, so hopefully you knew then that I wasn't some mean girl. Mean girls are bad, and I can be mean, trust me. Oh, I can be mean. I have a very large comfort zone. For honesty, but I am softy at heart. I'm like my dad.
Okay, I want to end on a good note. Are we going to add on to Dallas here in the family, or is Dallas an only child?
No, Dallas needs a brother or sister. Okay. She was getting some training the other day with her invisible fence at the house, and there was another dog there, and she was running around so happy with this other dog, and I'm like, oh, Dallas needs a brother or sister.
Ricky, if you haven't gotten anything out of this interview, I think she's giving you some ideas for Christmas.
I just got her Dallas.
That's it. That's what I want for Christmas, another dog.
Yeah, 2 dogs. And she's really good at taking Dallas out.
Well, I'm like one of the only ones that takes her out. See, I actually go out with her, and he just opens the door and lets her out and lets her go. Okay, let's not talk about that.
Just let the dog run.
Yeah, except for the turkey vultures and the coyotes and everything, whatever else there is out there that Dallas feels like it wants to become friends with.
Dallas is like part wolf. She's fine.
And she needs a friend.
Well, that's why I let her outside. She can make friends with the turkeys.
Right now, she's trying to make friends with crickets and grasshoppers in the grass. She's going to town on that grass like she's found gold. Anyway, she definitely needs a brother or sister. Just because she's high energy. She runs around. I can only keep up with her for about 30 seconds. And then I'm like, Dallas, I can't keep up. And these other dogs, they can go, she needs someone that she can really get out her energy. And she's a husky. She needs to run. Maybe run around with another dog instead of run off into La La Land and get eaten by a turkey vulture.
Duly noted.
Yes. Duly noted, he says. Okay, well, if you haven't learned something during this podcast, then you just need to listen back over it, because I surely have myself, and it's been a joy. Thank you so much for inviting me literally into your home and chatting, taking the time out of your busy schedules. And I'm sure that you'll hear plenty of this throughout the winter race season. But that's Ricky Stenhouse Jr., that's Danica Patrick, I'm Wendy Venturini, and this is Racing Home.